Hey, Dave here from DC On Screen. If you're following us on Facebook, you might have seen us posting artwork that has been sent to fans. This was sent to fans of DC On Screen as part of a promotion. How can you get your own artwork? Simply go over to iTunes or Stitcher and leave us good ratings or reviews. Or, bad ones if you just gotta be a dick. And then email us at dconscreen@gmail.com. Tell us who you want us to draw, who you want to draw it, Dave or Jason, and leave us an address. If you like, you can send us pictures of yourself with the drawing after we send it, and we'll post it to our Facebook page where you can tag yourself. This promotion ends March 31st, by the way, so you have to get those reviews in. Jason, do you have anything else to add?
It's a little for a lot, Dave. It's a little for a lot.
It is a little for a lot. We try so hard.
We need your help. We're asking. Our humble offering.
Humble, like pie. Anyway, man, settle back, listen to a brand new episode of DC On Screen starting right the hell now. Welcome in to DC On Screen. I'm your host, David Z. Robertson, and for the first time ever, and for the, 116th
time?
116th time, my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hi.
Woo. For
Just
the first time, though.
as much enthusiasm.
We've never said your last name, officially.
Oh, yeah. I suppose we haven't.
But it's just been everywhere, though, lately.
Well, I mean, it was never a concerted effort. Just Dave and Jason sounded great. So I went with that.
But I'm too much of a dick. I've got to have my full name. Like, everyone's going to know who the hell I am. Nah.
I was just Goss gets misspelled all the fucking time. I don't even, why confuse people?
The last thing you need is people will be sitting around like, oh, Jason Gross.
Yeah, that happens. I could list for another 20 minutes the misspellings, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm past it all now.
Yeah.
It didn't make my childhood an absolute nightmare or anything.
I just got the annoying, David Robinson, like the basketball player. I'm like, no. No, not Robinson.
You're like,
Robertson.
no, and what's basketball? What?
Or like, Roberson. I'm like, no. I know that's what you think. I know that's the way it's spelled, but that's not the way we say it.
Right.
Let's be honest, nobody really... I didn't really have that much of a problem with that. Most people were just like, hey, you fat ass. And I'm like, that's not any way for a teacher to be talking to a kid.
That's routinely unacceptable. Shut up and take this SAT. Don't embarrass me. My bonus check depends on it. Oh.
Yeah. So, as you can tell, we've started out this episode. It's pretty much already a Batwiener episode. For those of you who are just joining us and have never heard another episode, that's an in-joke. Batwieners pretty much is a free-for-all where we just talk about whatever.
I still insist it's called Batwieners and Flipper Hands, but that's even more inside baseball than the first one.
Yeah. Well, Batwieners is shorthand, I guess.
Sure.
Leave it to us.
To make longhand out of a shorthand? Yes. Leave that to me every time.
We are going to do some news, and there's not a lot of news this week, though. So we were, I don't know. Did you want to go ahead and get to that, the brand new news? Like, Zack Snyder tweeted
the just dropped.
Yeah, and you know what? We can talk about why you want to do it right up front.
Yeah, because fuck Gizmodo. Just period.
And IO9.
And IO9. And everything in between. Every now and then they'll have a piece of news that I absolutely have to fucking get to. And in order to do that, I have to fight through this barrage of... Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Their pop-ups are a bitch. And they use HTML5 shit sometimes, where you can't block it to save your damn life.
Yeah, it's rough, man.
It's rough. We go through a lot.
But,
But we had to know what this looked like, so...
Oh, yeah, definitely. Dude, Zack Snyder tweeted a picture, and there's a little bit, just a tiny bit of the Flash costume for the Justice League movie. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a picture of himself with Jason Momoa, and he says, deep in it with Jason on JL, a.k.a. Justice League, hashtag Aquaman, hashtag Justice League, hashtag Leavesden at Pride of Gypsies. Yeah. So...
And take the first part even. He says deep in it, and so help me if I couldn't see both of Momoa's hands, the look on Snyder's face, I would assume it was a rectal examination. Mm-hmm. Which
is what we'll be experiencing soon.
He looks very uncomfortable. But man,
in
Momoa
this
looks.
picture,
God, he's down.
yeah.
Snyder's pain is so fucking metal.
He looks like Momoa just farted, and he's just rolling.
Just
with
trying to hang out there. Just trying to make this happen anyway.
But there is actually so much going on in this picture. We see there's a Batman cowl.
That one's,
and right behind that is some sort of armor. Jason swears it looks like a woman's armor because there's got a boob, but I think that's a man boob. I really do.
You countered with that looks like a goatee, and I admit it looks very much like a male mannequin head. No doubt about that. But man, that armor extension looks way out there. So I'm confused about that. But it looks like Atlantean armor in any case, I want to say. Feels Atlantean to me.
Atlantean armor. And then right in the background looks like a freaking Themyscira helmet.
Yeah, it does. It looks like your average Athenian warrior, right? Warrior.
Yeah.
It's right.
And
next
then there's
to
some sort of
what looks like another foot.
Like an Athenian looking boot of some sort, but that's got a big ass foot, man. That foot is big.
See, I would say that looks like an Atlantean foot, but you can see the Atlantean foot across the screen. It doesn't look exactly like that. Mm-hmm. But it might be Mora's foot.
Mm-hmm. Now there is.
We're just going
sort
right
of
to
costume.
left across the picture, by the way, if anyone wants to follow along.
Yeah, and now
Find
right
Zack
behind
Snyder
Zack
on
Snyder's head. Yeah, right behind Zack Snyder's head, there's like a mannequin that looks like there's. I'm gonna say it looks like black, like a black paper, not black paper, but black plastic bag, like a trash bag, like tapered down onto the form, like they're about to make something with it.
Well, or they did the thing with, I think, it's been a long time since I've worked with clay in any capacity whatsoever, but I think there's a thing where you can kind of like wrap the clay down while it's drying, pull the plastic off later, and it's a clean dry, a clean polished dry.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like whatever they're working on there, they've got two guys set up, and whatever they're working on is clearly, from here it looks like two dudes that they're working on the costume of. And there's even a reflection. These are just basics. Whatever they're doing is very basic.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll assume there's Cyborg and Hal Jordan for the fuck of it, right?
Why not?
Because that sounds, inciting. I should say inciting instead of exciting.
Now, next up, we see a black uniform. And based on the design, the first thing that came to mind was, I don't know of any Batman outfit that looks like that. There's no bat suit symbol on it.
Mm-mm. The top ab looks slightly bat symbolish, but it's also just what a top ab looks like when you do it. And
but they very much, they have like a it looks like a matted black, but then there's a gloss black in the shape of a V coming down from the shoulders, which makes me, the first thing I thought of was Black Manta, but now that I'm looking at it again, I'm kind of, could this be Nightwing?
There's not a bat symbol.
No, there's not a bat symbol, but they could easily
even the stylized
the blue
Nightwing symbol.
Yeah, but they haven't. They could have easily not have painted the blue.
Yeah, maybe
the blue could be coming later.
I mean, really, maybe. The Occam's razor guess is Ocean Master. They've announced him. There are versions of his costume that are monotone with a little bit of painting on it. And for the Snyder fill of these kinds of films, it would make sense to either take off or dumb down the extra color. But Nightwing's not out of the question. Mm-hmm. I'd still vote for Ocean Master just based on evidence, all accumulated evidence right now.
Yeah.
How much do you want to go and rummage around in this fucking workshop for a little while, though? Jesus Christ.
Oh, I want it so bad. Right next to that is a badass Jason Momoa Aquaman costume.
Look at that
actually
codpiece, sir.
I know. You know what? Looking at the wrist and the arm and everything, it could very easily be the other side or a different variation of the Aquaman costume that you think looks like a woman's costume over here on the absolute right.
See, it has the same feel in certain places. Yeah, it literally has. It has the same feel in a couple places as the Atlantean uniform on the left here. So same as that foot there. Mm-hmm. But we'll see about that.
And just behind Aquaman are two things of note. You said it looked like Batgirl, but there is a poster, like a It is. It's like has like a mat around it, and it looks like some sort of design work, costume design, artwork. You said it looked like Batgirl. I think it looks like Mira.
I did
red
say that
hair.
for a second, and I agree with you based on two things. One, red hair, perfect. Two, the thing that I, for just a second, got all excited and went, are those bat ears? No, that does look like a tiara.
It looks like a crown, and then there's a point in the middle as well.
But here's the other thing. Look between his legs. I promise this is one of very few times I'll ever ask you to look between.
You already
Jason
brought up the
Momoa's
cod
legs.
piece, damn it.
Yeah. There would be very little focus on the cod section after this, I assure you. But look right below that. That's the same red hair, and it looks like a quarter turn view of the face with the little insets on the cheekbones, the things that run up the side of the cheekbone and come down, which is also something you can find with Mara every now and then.
Yeah. There you go. Alrighty.
So we're thinking that's concept shots of Mara.
Yep.
Followed by a very Gustony looking Flash.
It does look very Gustony.
Just does.
Well,
Can't blame him.
A little more streamlined.
It's a little more
honestly.
streamlined. And it looks like it's going to have a little more hip action from the little bitty piece we can actually see from here.
You want to read those comments? Because some of these comments were pretty funny.
Yeah.
I guess they were on IO9 or Gizmodo.
Yeah,
Is that
before
right?
I abandon all of my hatred for this site and move on. First comment was, of course, and we're talking about the Flash costume here because that was the big deal. Of course, it's fucking deep dark maroon.
Well, who said that? Give us the names of these people.
I'll give you.
Give them proper credit.
Wherever they can be found on IO9's comment page, it's Their Wolf, Their Castle. ERE, not EIR. And he's got one of the most amazing gifs I've ever seen. It's the first picture of Batman that we ever saw, of Batfleck that we ever saw. It looks like the mirror image. It's mirror image, right? And it looks like they've reworked the one arm so that it's animated, and he's just pushing a sad, empty swing in the middle of a rain in an abandoned backyard. It made me so happy. And then the other two comments I really loved. Something is one word, thy thou trust. Even the picture has a dark sepia filter. And my favorite out of all of them, or at the very least the last, Harrison Gray. And remember that the movie will likely have some darker filters, so this is the most colorful it will ever be.
Oh, good job, guys.
Way to go, commenters.
That's funny. Yeah, those are some exciting stuff, man. Had a lot of fun. Like before the show that we just saw this. Thanks to our buddy Christopher White, sent us that. He also sent us a news link saying that Justice League Part 1 is going to officially begin production on April 11th. Which, what was it you told me about that? It's like, no, look, we're still doing it, see?
No, we're
It's
definitely...
still after Batman versus Superman.
Ignore all of the reports you saw, all the pessimism. Look at this nice press release saying that we're definitely doing the Justice League. Okay, well, but when are you doing the Justice League? In April. Well, isn't that after BVS comes out? Well, yeah, but why are you going to focus on that part? We're definitely doing it. If we don't think better of it somewhere in early April.
Nah, they'll do it.
They will. I believe firmly they will. But I think they're going to feel a lot better at throwing more money at it if the movie makes its budget back in like the first weekend or two. And April 11th is enough time to see like, well, let's give us like three weekends. Am I right about 3 weekends as a guess?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Let's see. March. Where does it come out? March 24th. If you're going to have your ass in a seat on Thursday night, and I assume everyone here will. 24, 31, 7. Yep, that is 3 full weekends. So they're expecting to make, what is this budget up to now? Like $400 million or some shit?
That's what they claim.
It's widely disputed.
Yeah, it is widely disputed. The film itself probably in the 200, 250 range. And but when you factor in marketing, yeah, probably about 4. They would like to
be back in the black before they actually sign on and go, "Yep, Justice League, do what you do." I don't think they'll change it. I mean, us just saying that like filming starts on 11th doesn't mean that someone makes the first move on like April 10th. It means that we're just now being told about shit that's already going down. I mean, there are already people scheduling. Or, there's money already been spent. It's just that it would have to be a complete disaster. Like, they would have to release this thing and go, oh my God, and, like, have Green Lantern flashbacks.
Well, man, we still have that that study that's saying that, or that machine, whatever. That's
one of the several algorithms that are...
Yeah, that's saying that Batman vs. Superman only has a 32% chance of success.
I would like to see the factors on that one.
Possibly be true.
Yeah, I don't fucking know, man. And there's every amount of things I can ask, like, what do they define as success? What are the factors they're considering? Over what time frame? What are the comparables? It's just a weird headline until I see the factors.
Now, speaking of Batman v Superman, they have actually released a running time. It is 2 hours and 31 minutes. In case you were wondering, that is apparently 9 minutes longer than Age of Ultron, 8 minutes longer than Man of Steel, and is the longest superhero movie since The Dark Knight Rises, which was 2 hours and 45 minutes, which surprised me because I thought I remembered Dark Knight Rises being at least 4.5 hours.
Yeah. I know what you mean. You thought you lost about an hour just on that montage of the 1% taking over. I'm sorry, the 99% taking over.
Yeah.
This
someone I didn't check it out. I didn't figure it out, but or not. I guess write it down is what I should say here. But some hapless soul put out a Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice Supercut trailer.
Oh, I've been meaning to watch that. I have.
Of all the footage released thus far, it's like 8 minutes 14 seconds. I'll put up a link to the YouTube video in the show notes. But yeah, that's the thing. That'll be probably exclusively on DCOnscreen.com. So you probably won't be able to link to it through iTunes or Stitcher. But yeah,
that takes a lot of extra effort, and so few people will click through anyway.
Yeah, so few.
But I have been meaning to watch that one. I have an idea about something I want to do that's related to it, and I haven't had time to deal with that either. But
what'd you want to do?
I can't talk about it now.
Well, this is interesting. My interest is piqued.
Well, we've already talked about it, so you'll know what I'm talking about if you remember yesterday's private conversation.
I absolutely don't remember that.
Well, then forgive me and roll with it.
I'll roll with it. Yeah. Don't feel bad, guys. I don't know what the hell he's talking about either.
It's a very large club. But, yeah, I've really been meaning to watch that just to see. I would like to see all of the footage cut together. I don't care what order. I mean, they can almost be in a random order if you want to. I just would like to see all the footage together to see if I can get an intuition about where it's going. But even that, like the 2.5 hour runtime, I'm completely indifferent. It's fine, whatever. Watchmen's one of my favorite movies that both Snyder and WB have ever been a part of, and it's still just the longest goddamn thing. The uncut version of that film is an entire afternoon/evening, and it's glorious.
Well, it should be.
It's glorious, and I'm sorry if you just got mad about not seeing a giant octopus. I know it's squid, but if you get mad about not seeing a giant squid at the end of this movie, I don't know what to tell you. That I thought this was a really good tweak, made it even more relevant. But point was, you have to stop drinking water like 3 or 4 hours before you go see that film, and I loved the shit out of it. Same time, I went and saw Dark Knight Rises and questioned every life decision. The runtime is irrelevant. Don't get freaked out. And I've seen articles about like, oh my god, this film's gonna be so bloated and blah blah blah. Yeah, there's a difference between bloated and jam packed, and it's all like how you feel about it afterwards. Mm-hmm. No time to scatter, guys.
So, you know Lucy Davis?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you don't, I know you do, but
the lovely Lucy Davis.
She was in Shaun of the Dead. She was in
so many things I love.
God, the UK Office. She was their Pam equivalent over there.
Tim and Dawn.
She was in Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, which, by the way, I just got on DVD for like $14 at Second and Charles, and cannot be happier with that.
I envy you very, very much about that.
Fantastic series for anyone just looking for a quick season of a show that gets wrapped up pretty damn well, and you will enjoy watching over and over again. Great show. She is apparently playing the Golden Age character of Etta Candy in Wonder Woman. Now, I don't know if she's put on weight to play the role, because they put up pictures and she looks pretty big, which would make sense for the character. The character, now, I hope we won't get so deep into her character in Wonder Woman that we find out this information, or at the very least that they will change it. But on the article I read, here's what they had to say about it, and they did a fantastic job. I'll try to link back to this article in the show notes to give proper credit. But born to her parents, hard and sugar candy, I Love You Golden Age Comics, was a sickly, malnourished girl Diana met in a hospital who rejuvenated herself back to health by eating candy. Naturally, candy gave Etta newfound moxie, inspiring her and the girls of Holiday College's Beta Lambda sorority to go on adventures with Wonder Woman. Etta, who leapt into battle with cries like "woo woo" and "for the love of chocolate," could match Diana for bravery, and while she didn't have any superpowers, she frequently impressed Wonder Woman with her feats of strength. Etta didn't take shit from anyone, and was deemed worthy enough by the Amazons to be invited to Themyscira for festivals and celebrations. She once stormed a Nazi concentration camp armed with nothing but a box of candy.
And did just fucking fine.
She was quickly phased out during the Silver Age, and then much later on, she was eventually brought back as a slimmer, weight-conscious USAF lieutenant. But it doesn't look like they're dealing with that version. They have the old Golden Age version, it looks like. I don't know.
Well, and then the new 52 version is a young black girl. So Lucy Davis definitely doesn't qualify for that particular casting corner.
Did you say a young black girl?
I did.
Is that just what New 52 did? Was just it's like, I know how to fix this character. Make them black. What? That doesn't make sense.
There are a couple examples of it. And the thing is, it has. I don't even find that to be a race relation topic one iota. For me, that's just there. Sometimes New 52 just had like a giant demographics board on the wall and one blindfold and a set of darts, and we're like, what can we do with this character? Plonk.
Which apparently,
young African American lady, wonderful. Write that in.
Apparently, like, I haven't read the New 52 Flash in its entirety, but from what I understand, this rebirth thing might actually bring back redheaded Wally West.
Oh, okay.
Even if the two Wally Wests coexist, because there's been a fair amount, from what I understand, there's been a fair amount of upheaval about not just that Wally is no longer a white redheaded kid, but that he's just not Wally anymore. He's not, there's like, oh, he's a black dude, he's got to have angst, and he was a troubled kid. They're like, no, we kind of just want our fun Wally who used to hang out with the Titans and grew up being Kid Flash and then knows Dick and stuff. But
I mean, that was fine too. Those are just different stories.
I loved Wally. Well, I loved classic Wally. He was one of my favorite characters. So I can kind of feel them on, hey, can we... Because to me, he was always like Morph from X-Men. Like, or The Exiles or Age of Apocalypse comics. And X-Men people know who Morph is.
Of course.
He was a shapeshifter, and he was a lot of fun. He was a wisecracker.
Right.
It's kind of who Wally West was in the comics. So... kind of miss that. I don't know. I don't see a reason for Wally to be changed from, Morph to Jason Todd, but whatever, man. If you're going to have loose continuity, you might as well have two Wally Wests. Am I right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But we're not apparently going to have that. I guess it's going to be Rebirth, and fucking no. We'll know more in about a year. Until then, I'm almost hesitant to... Let's at least get to the Rebirth.
In a couple of years when they cancel Rebirth. And
let's at least get to the Rebirth, the Jeff Johns issue, and see what the what do they call it, a pre-catalog or whatever. Let's at least see that and see where we're going.
So Etta's black now. Is she fat or is she back? Or what is she? Is she candy?
Yeah, man. I haven't run across her at all in actual. I have no idea. I'm going off a description on that one.
I was so confused.
Yeah, young, ambitious African American lady. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know, and I don't know who came first. I really don't. In earnest, I don't know, but it kind of feels like the DC equivalent of Dum Dum Dugan. Except Dum Dum Dugan was kind of a badass with just a dumb name, and I mean she's a badass, but
she's a badass with a dumb name. But
she's a badass with a dumb name, but I don't. Dum Dum Dugan, I don't know. He didn't fight people with candy, you know. He actually legitimately has guns and weapons and shit, you know. Maybe I'm just picking it apart.
I'll tell you this, man. I like them pulling in a name as obscure as Etta Candy because I'll be damned if you walk up to 100 fans and say who's Etta Candy. Crickets, right? But
sure, absolutely.
And you look at the set photos, and it actually does. That doesn't look like any modification. It actually looks like Lucy Davis intentionally put weight on to do this. So they're going to go...
I knew she had gained weight when she did the last season of Marin.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know if it was for anything, but she wasn't as big as she was here either.
I hadn't seen her in a couple of years, but she looks like... I mean, you can only guess. With a camera involved, you can only guess. But it looks like 20, 30 pounds at least. And I don't know what they're going to do with that. But in a Snyder-esque kind of film, you don't think anyone's going to actually be swearing "for the love of chocolate" or "I swear by Betty Crocker." These are quotes. Mm-hmm. That's not happening. That's just not fucking happening.
Though I have heard, I can't remember who it was, said that like being on set with Patty Jenkins, that it was like watching Donner work. Like there was a lot of hope and passion. And a lot more lightness, lightheartedness and stuff. So, I don't know, man. Maybe she'll holler out something about chocolate. Maybe we are looking at the next Otis.
That's fine, too. Or
I don't know.
I was going to say Foggy Nelson, but he gets a little dark here these days, too.
Yeah, all of them do.
But he was the best damn avocado that he could be.
So this is very loosely tied to Justice League.
Let's do that then.
DC. Tim Miller got his Deadpool directing spot by doing a Justice League short for the what was it? The DC. I had it written down, and now I guess I accidentally deleted it. But it was one of these. It was a video game. I think it was an online game. Let me see. I'll type this in. God, I'm professional. DC Universe Online cinematic trailer.
Gotcha.
He directed it. You and I have both seen it, and we both this was back in 2011. You and I both watched this thing. I showed it to you, and we both damn near creamed ourselves. This had Kevin Conroy. This had Mark Hamill. And it's just the Justice League fighting on this huge is the ruins of what appears to be Metropolis. And then Superman comes back and he's pissed. He's out floating in space next to the sun. It flies down, and then we get Lex Luthor from the future coming and telling the Justice League, "That's what happens. That's what happens if we don't stop this terrible thing." Looks badass. That is how Tim Miller wound up. Someone saw that and wound up getting him a job on, let's see, the executive at Fox who'd been working on X-Men First Class with Matthew Vaughn had seen a piece I'd done for a DC Universe project, which had a lot of superhero action. That was the project.
Well, it's
X-Men First Class.
I'm trying to find the actual game, but it was for a game.
Yeah, but this was the trailer that was, He said he thought X-Men First Class could use help with working out the detailed action choreography, so I was brought on to help with that. He came down and we met, and by the end of that meeting he said, I think you should really be directing your own film. You're a first-timer, so I can't get you anything big, but we have this other movie, Deadpool. Are you interested?
And by the grace of God, he said, yeah, sure.
Uh-huh.
And we have the golden nugget sitting in our laps today.
I mean, if you look at that trailer, it looks better than, I guarantee you, it looks better. It's better than anything they're going to do with, Zack Snyder's going to do the trailer for that game. The whole, when I remember watching it and going, please let this actually be a movie or something they're doing.
Yeah,
please. I don't want this to be a video game. And it was a video game.
It was nothing even close. But, oh my God. Yeah, I mean, I remember it. I've seen it a couple of times. It looked phenomenal. Just so fucking good.
Yeah, again, I'll put up a link in the show notes on DCOnScreen.com. Ooh, just thought that was fun. Over to Suicide Squad. Are you getting the idea that like they are just just telling us bullshit about how awful and crazy Jared Leto is just to amp it up and be like, oh man, you have no idea how crazy Suicide's going to be.
Well, it's not even new
Suicide
bullshit,
Squad's going
though.
to be.
They're rehashing.
No.
No, they got a quote from Viola Davis that I heard about that pig like 8 months ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
I heard about the rats.
The rats, the bullets, the pig was on the list too. Like, God, probably
Okay.
6 months ago or something. Like,
I lost track.
but it was a mention. This is the first, because Viola, I'm going to guess Viola Davis, but if you listen, you know how fucking bad we are with all that. Yeah, I was going
Absolutely.
to, but Mrs. Davis had...
Or Miss.
No,
I don't know your
I don't
marital
fucking know
status.
either. Shit! Miss Sue Davis came out and said something more specific, so now it became a news cycle. But yeah, man, that was out there before even. It's just
Yeah.
on the growing pile of things that have apparently made him a crazy bastard. And of all those things, do you want to go ahead and describe what we're talking about with the pig?
Yeah, let's see. She said, the Joker, he did some bad things. Jared Leto did. He gave some really horrific gifts. He had a henchman who came into the rehearsal rooms with a dead pig. I've also heard that it was a disemboweled pig. And plopped it on the table and then walked out. And that was our introduction to Jared Leto. Now, I'm terrified just as a person thinking, is he crazy? But the second part was, oh shit, I've got to have my stuff together. You talk about commitment. And then he sends Margot Robbie a black rat.
Yeah.
It was still alive in a box. She screamed, and then she kept it.
Right.
So, yeah. It seems like everybody involved with this film has been instructed by Warner Brothers to continually, fall back on stories about how crazy Jared Leto is because nobody's buying the tattoos. Nobody's buying the teeth shit. So they're like, no, he's legit. Here's the real deal. Here's how method this dude is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if that's all true and candid, we can focus on just the first couple of words. She said the Joker, and then she caught herself and went Jared Leto. Mm-hmm. If that's candid, that she thinks of him as the Joker first and Jared Leto second, I dig the fuck out of that. But we don't know.
I saw a comment. I don't remember who actually wrote it. I'm sorry, but the guy said, "Oh yeah, he's sending dead animals to people, but did he die of a drug overdose in a hotel room because of it? I think not."
Well, not yet, asshole. Give the dude time. Damn.
Oh, and then someone commented and he wasn't even a particularly good Joker. It made me laugh, man. It did. That's awful, by the way.
It is.
I don't condone those things.
I condone very
But I
little
did laugh.
of what happened, even our inclusion of the topic in this conversation, and yet still. The extent of
Here
my
we
moral
are.
moral outrage is.
The extent of my moral outrage is that's gonna be funny. I'll bring it up. Oh, you want to talk about Gotham for a minute?
Yeah. I don't think I had anything on the movies. Yeah, go for it. Hit that.
All right, cool.
Hit it hard. Hit it
We're
deep.
gonna saunter over, man. Nah, man, there ain't nothing to hit hard, man.
Okay.
We're just gonna saunter over,
Well, just hit
all
it.
lackadaisical,
Smack it around a
like
bit.
a couple of fellers after Sunday lunch on the front porch.
A couple of goddamn sated and half drunk Oscar Wildes roaming through the fucking wilderness, right?
That wasn't the imagery I had in my mind, but okay.
Saunter sometimes put me in mind of Wild.
Again, I'll post this video link over on the Facebook page. But not the Facebook page, the DC on Screen page. But Ben McKenzie apparently was on Jimmy Kimmel, and he tried on mustaches for Commissioner Gordon.
I didn't see that.
They had handlebar mustaches and everything.
That
It was
sounds
pretty good.
awesome.
The
The twirlies,
and they released
all those.
They released pictures of Azrael on set, and we found out who's going to be playing Azrael.
Who's that?
James Frain.
I could not have hoped for anything better than that. Didn't we mention that?
We may have predicted it, but no, this is new.
If
For us,
anyone,
at least.
if anyone has like gone through what we recently said about Gotham by any chance, Mr. Fuentes, I want to point to you because you're the only one I know by name right now. Did we not suggest that he might pop up as Azrael at some point because of the Dumas backline and all that?
We may have conjectured in that general direction, but I don't think we actually stated with any real certainty. No,
I doubt we did anything with any real certainty, but I would like the bonus point if we got that right. In any case, the one thing I'm sure about now, I didn't know James Frame was confirmed for the role, but the one thing I know for sure is, two, that costume looks freaking great. I think we went into that last time, and
it does.
Two, Frame's fighting style, the fighting style they gave him, Galavant's, is really fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Like that could be good. That could be genuinely good.
Could be. Could also be a train wreck.
Yeah, but that's just Gotham for you. Like this I'm actually excited about. Like saying that could be good and it could be a train wreck that's not new information to the Gotham pile.
Right.
Hell, we're getting
that sounds like a
back.
Tuesday in Gotham.
Sounds like a fucking Tuesday. Said Bullock, who we were sad we hadn't seen in 2 episodes.
You know what else might be a train wreck? This thing over in Supergirl that I saw.
Oh, I thought it was going to be more Gotham. I was already bracing myself. Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Go forth.
I'm going to pop over to Supergirl for a second.
Go forth.
I saw a promo for the Master Jailer episode.
Oh, God. Did you?
Completely, rote conversation they're having about Master Jailer. We're just looking at pictures of him. They're like, oh, blah, blah, he's got so much armor, blah, blah, blah. Then, Hank Henshaw, who, if you follow the show, you will know. Spoilers, that's Martian Manhunter, says something about an intergalactic bounty hunter. And Alex looks up and goes, you don't think it's... And he's like, no, if he were in town, we would know by now. And the internet's flipping its shit going, are you talking about Lobo?
That's all of my hopes combined. Like, if there has ever been... I'm not exaggerating here. If there has ever been any doubt that Supergirl was a show that you should be investing your time in, if they fucking bring Lobo on, I don't care how many mistakes they've made. I'm sorry, I don't care how many mistakes they've made through the whole season. You've revived it. You're back at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes for me.
However, are you familiar with the new 52 Lobo?
Oh God, now I'm scared. What did I? No.
He looks like freaking Edward from Twilight, man. He's a pansy-ass Lobo.
Shit.
He is not my Lobo.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
So
I'm going to go back and forth on this very quickly.
Go for it.
Yeah, that's not our Lobo.
No.
It's just not. And yeah, he does look a little dainty for Lobo.
This dude looks like the Lobo. This dude looks like a Lobo who didn't used to be into Justin Bieber, but once he started spitting on people, kind of got into him for a minute.
No, the new 52 Lobo looks like he has already guest starred on the Vampire Diaries, and thus will not be a huge problem for Belantiverse to hop over onto.
Yeah.
They just grabbed the concept art from somebody over at CW and threw it on another channel.
He does. He looks like the type of CW character that Spike would laugh at and call a git.
Right. Right. And the crazy part is if you just told me that Spike, if you showed me the new 52 Lobo and just told me this is what Spike turns out to be, I would think, oh, that's great. Wonderful most of the time. Except when he's got his hair all coiffed. That's not acceptable. That's just not acceptable. Lobo does not fucking use hair product. Period. Done here. We're done. And we're not talking about, oh no, Superman kills sometimes. We're not talking about Batman's ever used a gun. We're talking about Lobo does not use hair product. Done. DUN and an infinity of periods.
No, hold on now. Hold on. I'm not sure that's accurate. I've seen Lobo's hair.
It doesn't look product.
It looks like he has the appropriate amount of product in it for someone who, idolizes probably Van Halen.
No, but his is the greased over version of the people of the people of Halen aspire to the volume that Lobo has.
Okay.
So
no hair product, but blood of his enemies, that type of thing.
Yeah, that's fine with me. No, that's after not bathing for a certain period of time, one will develop something called hair grease, which at a glance might sometimes look like product, but is in fact a thing. It's like a natural coping mechanism of the body to make sure that you can still conceivably maybe procreate at some point. Same time. This is where I'm going to go. I'm finished waffling on this. It won't be our Lobo, but if they bring in Lobo at all, I'll still be really fucking impressed.
Yeah.
But I gotta admit, I want bad metal. I want stogies. I want him to to be drunk driving his fucking space bicycle when he shows up and toss the emptied bottle of liquor onto any well-kept grounds that specifically have a no littering sign on them. That's where I want the glass to shatter.
Right.
And then I want him to show up and cuss at someone several times for no fucking reason. And then finally declare that he's the main man and look at you confused as to why you don't know that already.
Yeah.
And I believe mine is the true vision.
It's pretty damn close, sir. Except he doesn't have a bicycle, but,
I'm sorry. Motorbike. Whatever the non-pedestrians are calling
Space
these
hog,
days.
man.
Space hogs. I'm sorry.
Space hog.
It may be obvious that I'm not a cyclist of any kind, motor or otherwise. I got nothing against them, except when they make giant, scary noises beside me when I'm trying to pay attention to something. It's more that I have intense ADD and assume that if I was in charge of a two-wheeled vehicle, I would get myself killed pretty immediately. Fair concern if you're me.
Illegal mufflers.
I'm only human. I don't enjoy it when there's this giant sound right beside me. I'm sitting here just trying to listen to a book, man. I'm just...
Right. Of course. Just chilling, listening to a book. No call for illegal mufflers in my ear.
Right. It is at best startling.
Twats. Oh, yeah. I would they're actually talking about, I've heard people talking now DC will finally think that a Lobo movie is coming because it will be good enough to make because of Deadpool. I hope so. But I don't want to see New 52 Lobo. I'd watch Lobo.
Don't get me wrong. If you actually put out a Lobo movie, I would probably... our Lobo, I'll call it. I would probably purchase a copy of that soundtrack just to burn it. That's not my style, man. I'm sorry. It's me and metal. We're not friends. But that means I don't want to see the movie.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of metal. I'm not. But I really want to see that movie. I'd be happy. More than happy to see that movie. I'd hug it.
Hug it. Say hello.
Friend.
All that. What else you got, man?
That's it. That's all the news.
I was afraid of that. I was deeply afraid.
All the news, sir. Well, there's no reason to be deeply afraid.
Mildly afraid? Mostly afraid.
Possibly.
Something we do know, since there was no Flash...
Mildly afraid.
Since there was no Flash and Arrow news, I'll create some.
There you go. You did have some news on that, didn't you?
Enjoy your Flash and Arrow this week, for it will be the last for 2 weeks.
Does that mean it's going to be two?
2 hiatus. You'll see it in 3 weeks calendar from the moment you're seeing it.
So there's going to be 2 weeks, 2 separate Tuesdays and Wednesdays where there are no Flash and Arrows?
That is correct. But Legends will keep going.
Well, as well it should.
Yes, it absolutely should. I want to make sure that's contiguous real quick.
Okay.
Because I think it is, but... Yeah, 18, 25, 3, 10, 17, 24. All right, so yeah, you're not going to see there's going to be like a 2-week gap in Legends, but it's not until March 24th, Progeny, at which point we can assume that something amazing will happen. And then it comes back for 3 weeks, I guess in probably one timeline at this rate, to do The Magnificent Eight, Last Refuge, and Leviathan. But yeah, they're going to end in April. I guess they weren't counting on May sweeps for Legends of Tomorrow. But The Flash, I can't exactly tell you how far they're going. I mean, you got King Shark coming up. King Shark, by the way, with Diggle popping over to get, we hope, a new helmet.
Yeah, man.
We hope a new amazing helmet. We'll see about all that. But he's popping over to help them with King Shark, which, by the way, one of the cool parts of the King Shark description is that King Shark, busts out of jail and immediately fucks up the Allen home. Or the West home, I mean. Like, he comes after Joe at his house. That looks fun.
Right?
Then we got a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We're going to come back for Trajectory and Flashback. So, Trajectory, wonder who we'll see there. And some flashback action. And then after that, we don't know. That's late March. Oh, I mean, that's a couple of days before BVS comes out, but there's no reason they can't air that on Tuesday following that. So that's just the current timing. I don't know. You got plenty of time for it to work. Arrow's on the same schedule, though. It's going to take 2 weeks off. You're going to get another Arrow after that.
You know, I'm down for breaks, man. You know, I saw Stephen Amell posted a picture. It was either on Facebook or Twitter or something. Where he looked kind of tired, and he said just woke up on the floor on a warehouse floor.
That a boy.
And then said he said you can tell, or I can tell that it's getting toward the end of the season. And I was like, I thought, I feel you, man. Because, I mean, yeah. No, I'm not doing all the crap he is. Because, good Lord. But, I'm a fat man. And this is taking up a lot of time and a lot of energy. And I love talking to you guys. But there's so many DC shows.
And, you know, personally, it reminds me of, like, the high school theater kind of thing. Like, there aren't a lot of you, so you're building the sets and you're like memorizing a shit ton of lines and just like you're all over the place. I mean, I remember falling asleep on a corner of the stage with like a piece of cotton we were planning on using for something, and then just waking up at an undisclosed amount of time later. And the worst part is like people don't even wonder if you're okay. That's so regular an occasion that you just kind of wake up and go, oh, okay, all right, I'm moving now.
Yeah, like, what is it, China? Where, like, if they find workers who are asleep, they're like, oh, they must have been working very hard. Good job. They worked so hard, they fell asleep.
I have done that, though. I actually got attention for that. It's a very long story.
Tell it.
I'll tell the short version, but
yes, that's fine. That's better. Even better. Short version of a long story.
The very short version was the same high school theater situation, and me and the fiance, who were high school sweethearts, we're both working our fucking asses off to mount the new production of whatever the fuck for the fall and or spring, whatever the hell semester it was. But anyway, we actually like we got out of class early because there was so much work to do that we went to class, we got the first half of the lecture or whatever, and then kind of got the like, okay, we got it, we'll read the rest in the book, we got work to do, head back to class, or head back to the theater thing. And we were waiting on we had a theater teacher, long story short, we got a theater coach because giant, massive cutbacks. Because education just does that for you. But we had to go back. We were told to meet the guy at the same time. We didn't find the guy at the same time. And honest to God, we've been getting like 4 hours of sleep a night because that's what extracurriculars do to you in certain aspects. I mean, we were like, you'd get to school at like 6:30 in the morning, work on the set for a couple hours before you had to actually get to class, like right then, and then get out of class, go back to the theater, build the set a little bit longer, go work on the lighting, go work on the sound cues, go work on the blocking and setting the tapes for everything. And I don't even want to get into how fucked up our lighting situation was. We literally had to move breakers depending on which spotlights were there. So not only did I have spotlight cues, I had breakers that could only be attached to so many spotlights at a time that all had to be coordinated. It was a fucking disaster, but it was fun. So you go put all that effort into it, and we were getting like 4 hours of sleep a night and just working, 6 to 8 hours a day on the actual production, plus going to school on that. And at some point, we went in, we didn't find the theater coach. By the way, great guy. But we didn't find the theater coach there and sat down on a couch to wait on him. It's one of the set couches, too, by the way. We didn't have an actual couch in this fucking scenario. We had a couch we'd brought in to be part of a set piece. Fell asleep. And we're woken up to the vice principal saying some combination of, what are y'all doing, and are y'all sweet on each other? And I was so confused by the phrasing. I'm a fan of old traditional phrasing. I'm still trying to start nothing doing. It's all Jake. All these are wonderful things to me, and are all sweet on each other. I just looked at him confused.
Right.
It was a strange thing to be accused of as you've fallen asleep on a couch, like heads resting on each other because you're fucking exhausted. Yeah, I was not a fan of this man. But.
So what happened?
Oh, I got like 14 hours of detention, and for some reason she got 10.
Well, you were clearly the one to blame. You were corrupting her.
I suppose. You know what it amounted to was, if anyone remembers in high school being written up for something, they give you the there's a space on the paper normally where they write what you did and then your punishment, and then there's a part at the bottom where you have to sign. And he gave me the sheet, and I started to read it, and he said, "Why are you reading it?" I said, "Because I have to sign it." Mm-hmm. And he looked at me and said, "You don't need to read it, just sign it." And I said, "I'm sorry, sir. I'm pretty sure you taught me in this school system that I'm supposed to read things before I sign them, because that's how the law works. So if you don't mind, I'll continue reading this document." He did not appreciate that speech.
That's pretty good.
So some hours of detention were added, which I didn't sign for, by the way.
Oh, you didn't sign the paper?
No, I signed the hours of detention I was given on the sheet of paper, but then he added some anyway. He was a bastard. It's like, I'm sorry. Do you really want your entire school system to go out in the world reading nothing and signing everything? That's what you want? That's your legacy? That's what you want. Okay. All right. This guy probably added like a 3% bonus as a school system, and as a leader, he probably like gave like the title advance industry, the cash advance industry, a huge chunk of money.
Mm-hmm. I in my personal experience, not every, but a lot of teachers, at the very least, even if they started out with good intentions and like an actual heart for teaching, wind up getting so beaten down by it that it just becomes no, I have the power and you don't, so here's your punishment types. They just become that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But, then there are others who start out that way and think from a young age, one day I'll be the teacher and I'll be able to make them pay.
I still have no respect for the guy, but a few months later, we were juniors at the time, and a few months later, my senior class decided to throw some tacks in his yard, and I'm not kidding here. He had a convertible car, smashed the window out of the convertible of the car, and pooped in it. And I'm not just describing the incidents with me. There were several incidents with several students that I did not approve of. But so help me, I kind of looked at all that and thought, okay, this is all due.
Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, are we due to shut it down?
I suppose we are. I can only warn of one more thing as far as upcoming television goes.
More news.
No. To my understanding, Lucifer is just going to shoot right through. I don't know if it's getting a date. Let me check on that though. But in the meantime, you're going to get one more break from Supergirl as it's currently listed. And it's going to be the week before World's Finest.
Oh. So
Supergirl, you're going to have week to week to week to week, and you've just got to survive 4 more episodes before you see the Flash. I mean, if this is a hate watch for you, Supergirl, just 4 more episodes, guys. 4 more episodes. You get Grant Gustin. And then how many episodes did you say we were getting this season?
20.
Okay, yeah. You got World's Finest with Grant Gustin, and then you got 2 more. The week after and the week after that to wrap it up. So mid-April, we'll have that wrapped up.
That's crazy, man.
Meanwhile, I don't think Lucifer's taking one moment off. I think it's... Yeah, they've got 12 episodes to make their case for existence, and...
Gonna be crazy, man.
They're doing them straight through. No fucking breaks in this bastard.
Well.
Good luck to him.
Yeah, something to him. I'm not sure what I'm rooting for with Lucifer. On the one hand, I'd like to have that hour. And the subsequent, however long it takes me to, or us to record that and stick it up.
I'm not sure exactly where it should go, but go take a look at the last 3 episode names.
I'll do that now. Let's look at this. Let's look at this, guys. Hashtag Team Lucifer.
Apparently that will be the season finale.
Saint Lucifer.
A twist on the Caribbean island. Pops. That's the one I'd focus on. Pops. You think they really will do Pops?
I don't know.
I mean, there's a Favorite Son episode at 2 doctors,
Yeah.
so presumably the therapist maybe makes a turn on him, and there's something coming up in the next episode that makes that seem like it's on the table. Apparently he will not just be boning this woman the entire season. She will finally have something to do. I do love that actress. She's been delightful even in that limited role, but that's why I like her as much and would like to throw her into a less limited role. So
I do see that Rotten Tomatoes is giving it a 49% approval rating.
that sounds about right, actually.
Yeah. It's got
Sounds about right.
It's got an 8.6 out of 10 on IMDb. I don't know. IMDb always kind of seems to lean a little high on their reviews.
Well, I mean, I think The Flash only had a 92% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which means to me the Rotten Tomatoes system should be graded up 8 points. 7 if I'm being critical.
Yeah. Well, maybe those... I don't know. Maybe those would be really good. I can't help but notice the director for the finale is Greg Beeman.
Who's that?
I believe he's done a bunch of work on Smallville. Let me just click on over through here. Oh, he is well known for his work on the television series Smallville, Jag, and Heroes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna give you any points for Jag. You survived. You get points for surviving Jag.
You do.
That's it.
Oh, he worked on Erie, Indiana in the Wonder Years.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, he was the director of Problem Child 3.
Actually,
Junior in Love.
I'm going to take some of my criticism on this guy back a little here. I'm looking at some of the episodes of Heroes that he worked on, and they were actually some of the good ones.
Seriously? Oh.
Yeah, he didn't do a bad job on Heroes.
Oh, he did the Aquaman pilot too. Yeah.
This is by far not a hopeless man.
Yeah, that wasn't a terrible version of Aquaman, the Mercy Reef or whatever it was called. It wasn't great.
One of those things we'll get around to reviewing one summer day.
Oh yeah, it was Justin Hartley was playing Aquaman in this thing, and he wound up. They didn't go through with the pilot, but he wound up playing Green Arrow on Smallville.
Nice. Oh, that guy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Dude, look at this rap sheet though. Melrose Place, The Defenders, No Ordinary Family, Memphis Beat, Falling Skies, Once Upon a Time, Touch. I mean, dude's done
No
some
Ordinary
TV.
Family was slightly better than you would think.
Dude's done some TV. Anyway,
I would easily put No Ordinary Family up there with Supergirl.
well, sure. All right, we gonna wrap it.
Yeah, let's wrap it. Yeah, let's wrap it.
All right, guys. We are DC On Screen. You can find every episode at DCOnScreen.com. You can find us on iTunes, and you can find us on Stitcher as well. What else? We are proud members of the Giant Size Team Up Network. What?
We'll get back to Giant Size. As mentioned, go give us those fucking ratings and reviews. We need them. We require them. And there are rewards for doing them.
There are. We gonna draw you a picture, man.
Yep. We care that much. It's actually entirely true. We've already done a couple of these bastards, and we actually are trying. I mean, for what it's worth, there's effort happening. So come on, just go type a few kind words.
Let's see. Oh yeah, we are proud members of the Giant Size Team Up Network. GiantSizeTeamUp.com. If you're interested in a similar podcast about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, who put out 5 times less episodes than we do, go check out our friends Matt Carroll and Jeff Randall at the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast.
It's a lot less episodes, but I don't notice a quality differential.
Oh yeah, no, their shows are dense, man. They're gonna get into some stuff, man.
Yeah, no, we have to wade through like a pile of let's see what happens to get through. Yeah, sadly, I'd put the average Shield episode up against like 2 of one of our shows.
It depends on which 2.
It absolutely does. Because
if Flash is one of those 2,
if it's Flash one of those 2, the whole thing's off the table. But if you told me like I'll trade you 1 Arrow and 1 Supergirl for 1 Shield, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's probably a good deal. Is that crazy? Am I being too mean?
Nah, probably not. To be clear, because on the Deadpool episode, I jokingly said that they were not as funny as we are. And then I hung out with Matt the other night, and he was like, yeah, what's this shit about us not, being as funny? He was joking too, by the way. Just to be clear, he was not seriously offended. So I'm not saying that. But just to be clear, again, we love those guys, and we are not funnier than them.
No. Those
well, maybe Jeff. Maybe Jeff.
That's not true either. Those bastards make me laugh. You know that.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Makes a fine punchline, but so do goddamn they.
What?
So do they. Except
so do they.
See that, needlessly threw in expletives because I do that.
Yeah. I thought you said so do they. And I'm like, who is they?
Daniel?
Lewis?
And does? Dave in this case would have to be a plural entity of some kind. Just going to abandon that. Just going to walk as far and fast away as I can.
That comment was the last of the Mohicans. Keep some DC on your screen, guys.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.